Let me pull up, let me see. The first one is going to be Matthew 3:17. So, in Matthew 3:17, which we're going to back up to verse 16 to catch the context, this is a discussion where Yeshua is coming up out of the Jordan of being baptized. And this is a great, actually, little triadic section of Matthew where we have a mention of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit all in the short space of narrative. And so in Matthew 16, Matthew 3:16, right here, Matthew records, and when Jesus was baptized, immediately he went up from the water, and behold, the heavens were opened to him, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and coming to rest on him. So notice Yeshua's in the picture, the Spirit's in the picture, and then we're going to see in verse 17, and behold, a voice from heaven said, "This is my beloved Son, with whom I'm well pleased." And the Father is in the picture. So this is a triadic, not necessarily a Trinity passage. This doesn't prove Trinity, but it does mention all three persons in a short space of time, which does fit the definition of triadic, right? Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are all mentioned in the same setting. And so germane to our study is that in verse 17, the voice from heaven, which we take to be the Father, says, "This is my beloved Son." The voice from heaven said, right? The voice said. What are we trying to get at? Well, the Father has a voice. He can speak, right? God the Father is not an animal, and he's not an impersonal force of energy, right? Last time I checked, the electricity in my wall cannot speak to me. Doesn't possess the ability to utter words that are intelligible to me, right? I haven't yet heard it speak to me. Likewise, dogs and cats that I might meet on the street, I could walk up to them and I can talk to them in English or any other language, right? I know a little bit of Korean, I know a little bit of Hebrew, I know a little bit of Greek, I know a little bit of Aramaic. Heck, I even know a little bit of Japanese and Chinese as well, or even a little bit of Spanish or French or German. All of us, most of us have like a smattering of words that we can speak in any given language, right? Truth be known. None of us. I'm not trying to make myself, out to be some type of multilingual person. Is what the point I'm trying to make, right? I'm not a polyglot, but I could speak whatever language I want to a dog or a cat. And last time I checked, they can't reply back to me using any of the languages that I address them with. Hasn't happened yet. Hasn't happened yet. And yet in the text here, the Father, the voice from heaven, speaks, and he doesn't say woof woof or meow meow. And he doesn't go bzzz, right? It doesn't sound like electricity. What does he say? He says, "This is my beloved Son in whom I'm well pleased." He spoke intelligibly. So the Father is intelligent. The Father speaks. Let's look at a second passage. In Luke chapter 9, it's the same of story from Luke's perspective. In verse 35, it says, "And a voice came out of the cloud." I'm sorry, this isn't the same story. What was I thinking? This is Yeshua on the Mount of Transfiguration. Where the disciples had gone up with him, and we can see in verse 33 that's Peter saying, "Hey, it's good that we're here, right?" And the cloud covering the mountain and things like that. So the Mount of Transfiguration, this is that account. And so in verse 35, a voice comes out of the cloud, and this voice says, "This is my Son, my chosen one. Listen to him." Indeed, in verse 36, "And when the voice had spoken." So again, the narrative is describing the Father speaking to the Son. It's intelligent speech. It's something that the disciples have recorded. Luke recorded intelligent speech. He didn't record just utterances or sounds like even thunderings or barking or groanings or anything like that, or murmurings, or a sound of zapping, as if God were just some impersonal electrical power or something like that. God the Father has an intelligible voice that can be understood by humans, and it's not just understood in the spiritual sense. It's actually can be received and interpreted by our physical ears. There's sound moving through the sound waves, and so those are passages that are easy to understand, and I don't think anyone would really argue with them.